What is going on, WWE Universe? Mackenzie Mitchell back here. I am going to have my colleague Matt Camp joining me here shortly, and we are going to break it down, talking about everything that happened on SmackDown tonight. We just got breaking news. It is now going to be a triple threat ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, as The Miz and John Morrison will defend against the Usos, against the New Day. This is going to be crazy. So we just learned this at the very end of SmackDown. We also heard tonight that Triple H has his money on Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. We saw everything go down on Fox tonight. Let me see if my colleague Matt Camp is on here, and we will get into everything. We'll break it all down for you guys. We know we are just days away from WrestleMania. It happens next weekend. That means we've got one more SmackDown on Fox before everything goes down. The first ever two-night WrestleMania. It's going to be historic. Okay, let me see if he's on here, so give me just a second. Go live. Let's see. Matt, you on here yet? Sorry for the close-up, everyone. Let's see. First and foremost, I hope, there we are. Matt, I'm adding you in here. Hope everyone is staying safe out there in these unfortunate times, but I'm glad that we all get to connect here on social media. That's the beauty of the digital world. Matt!
Hey, it's good if I reverse the camera, right?
Right. Turn it around.
There we go. Look
What's
at that.
going on?
Hey, it says 10 o'clock. We did it.
Long time no see.
Yes. How are you? Good to see
I'm
everybody.
good. How are you?
We're clean, right? We're far away from each other and all that
Just
stuff.
washed
We're
my
good.
hands.
So did I,
Before
for
dinner
real.
and after dinner. You have
All right.
to.
I'm doing a bonus coffee here for you as well, so we're good to go.
I got to keep you alive. You're getting old, Matt.
Stop it. Jeez, what a way to start this thing. My goodness.
I tell you. Well, okay, speaking of starting this thing, let's talk about the breaking news that we just learned.
So we have a ladder match now at WrestleMania?
A triple threat ladder match. Miz and John Morrison, the Usos, and the New Day. What can we expect to see from this?
So we got to see these teams hook it up at Elimination Chamber, but part of me, I know this was the number one contenders match for that opportunity at WrestleMania, but I really was hoping for the chance that maybe they'd all be able to mix it up somehow, and now to happen in a ladder match on top of everything, and you go from one generation of WWE tag teams with Miz and Morrison coming back, and now they're the champs, and you have the two teams that I really believe have carried the tag team. I guess you could say they've carried the whole tag team division now for years. So to see all three of them get to hook it up at the biggest show of the year is pretty awesome.
Do you have any predictions? Can you make a prediction at this moment? Will
no.
the Miz and John Morrison retain? You can't.
Will they retain? I'm not Evan. I'm not going to switch this 9 or 6.
Okay. You're not going to say one person and then jump to another.
No. I favor, only because they've held the title so many times, I favor New Day.
Of course.
I think about who's been in ladder matches, though, and I go back to John Morrison and Miz as well. I did an Instagram story about this today, about how Miz has had success. Miz has been in ladder matches. Miz has won Money in the Bank before, so there's something to that. John Morrison has won ladder matches before. But I just think of the cohesiveness of New Day. Not to count out Usos either. I mean,
right.
this is to me, this could be the match that steals the entire show.
Oh, I totally agree. Okay, well, let's take it back to the very beginning of the show. We saw Bayley and Sasha Banks come out. We know there's going to be a fatal 5-way at WrestleMania. Lacey Evans, Naomi, Bayley, Sasha, Tamina. Did I name everybody?
Yep. I think you got everybody, yes.
Everybody's in there. Should we make predictions on this? Do we have one single woman that we think is going to walk away with the SmackDown Championship at WrestleMania?
So part of me, only because we talked to her on the bump a couple of months ago, and I feel like her motivation is clearly there, is Lacey Evans. She couldn't get the job done against Bayley at Royal Rumble. I feel like there might be some revenge factor there, in addition to this being a WrestleMania match, in addition to this being the SmackDown Women's Championship. But Mackenzie, you and I both know this from seeing Sasha on the bump a few weeks ago. When she gets locked in, right, and she's just all about what she's doing in the ring, I don't know if there's anybody better in that division, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, worldwide. And to see the effort she puts into her training, when she can clear out all the other noise,
Right.
if she is just locked in on that championship, I would say she's going to win this thing. But the whole thing with Bayley's friendship, and I've had a lot of fun with this with Ryan Papola, you know that.
Right. Well, and that was kind of my second question was, do we think that, not egos, maybe that's a wrong word, but do we think that obviously Bayley and Sasha Banks are very close friends at this moment, but when they get in the ring and they're facing off against each other, there's a lot going on. Do we think that the mindsets will change then?
So there's one part about this match that might not matter. It's an elimination match. So
Right.
that's the key here. So you theoretically could say, we're going to stay away from each other and we're going to do whatever we can to work together until
Right.
we get down to the final two. Naomi and Lacey kind of discussed that in the ring. And I think that's honestly, that's a smart way to do things. It doesn't mean it'll happen.
Right.
Egos can get in the way. I would go in that direction if I was one of those two. I would talk that out ahead of time. It seems like Tamina's on an island by herself, and I think she's very happy to be there. I think Naomi and Lacey could get on the same page, and then I think that Sasha and Bayley can get on the same page. But it's still about one singular winner, one singular champion. And if Sasha Banks puts her friendship aside and is the Sasha Banks that we know can be the best, then she's walking out of there as the champion, regardless if she's got to go through Bayley or any of those other superstars.
Right. Well, we can't forget there's one more SmackDown until everything goes down. So
There is.
Things could change. The intensity is very high at the moment. It's obviously the grandest stage of them all the next weekend. So I think there's something to be said that things could change in the next week before they all get on the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania. So I'm really interested to see that match. But we also saw and learned Daniel Bryan is officially going to WrestleMania to challenge for the Intercontinental Championship against Sami Zayn.
So I kind of hope this, and if you didn't see this week, do so, because it is so much fun. But Drew Gulak earning that opportunity for his mentee, I guess, because he's the mentor, the coach, or whatever. He earned that opportunity for Daniel Bryan, who might have had a little hand in that, and at the end of that match with Shinsuke. But now we get this match. And if you would have said to longtime fans of both Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn, these two are going to meet at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship, our minds would have been blown. It's happening under very different circumstances, but I am happy that it is happening. What I wonder, Mackenzie, is this is a very different Sami Zayn. And when we talked to him on the bump this past week, he kind of said, I'm the one that gets under people's skin now. And I brought up how he has been so prolific on the microphone. And Sami Zayn, for so much of his career, has been an in-ring type of person. And that's been his first and foremost forte, his true strength. But now I feel like he's a great overall performer. And I do wonder how Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura and Drew Gulak will all be involved in this match. To me, Daniel Bryan is at the point where he is going to be very honorable, if you will. I don't know if there'll be a handshake at the beginning, but he's a very honorable man, and I think he'll have Drew Gulak out there for support, but not to help him. I don't think I could say the same for Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I think when we're talking about friendships, we've seen Bayley and Sasha. We've seen the new friendship that's formed between Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan. Like, these two automatically, I mean, they both are very similar in the way that they wrestle. They've got very similar styles of wrestling, but putting them in the ring together, the new dance that they've been doing and all of that, that's
not a dance, Mackenzie. That is an old wrestling. So what that is, and one Shorty G, Chad Gable chimed in on this. One Yuji Nagata, who we once saw in Monday Nitro back in the day, WCW, who's very active still in Japan, talked about this. It's a training technique to kind of warm you up. And I believe they both said they were not getting tight enough on those moves. And they did tighten it up, which Mr. Gable did comment on. So those are training tactics, as one Ryan Papola just mentioned here in the comments section.
Here he is. He is critiquing their training. Whatever they're doing.
A dance. How dare you?
It's working. Okay.
It is working. They have it together. I think it's pretty funny that for Daniel Bryan, for all of his accolades, multiple-time world champion here, has done it everywhere. Not to discount Drew Gulak, but Daniel Bryan has one of the best resumes active of any superstar in WWE. I like that he's still trying to make his game better. And if you have someone like Drew Gulak in there to help you, it will. I don't know what the training techniques are of Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura. He would be smart to listen to those two men as well.
Well, we know that Daniel Bryan is a former Intercontinental Champion.
He is.
So is this the year that he's going to be a 2-time Intercontinental Champion?
So I think he can. I think he can do it again. I am going to pick him to win this. I'll give you that one right now.
Of course you are. You're a big Daniel Bryan fan.
I love Daniel Bryan. A lot of our fans here watching right now are big Daniel Bryan fans. And he's won the Intercontinental Championship at a WrestleMania before, WrestleMania 31, but in a ladder match, which to me, that's not a Daniel Bryan match. Daniel Bryan is in there in 2 out of 3 falls, or a submission match, or an I Quit match, or what we saw with Drew Gulak in Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago at Elimination Chamber. But he can do it all, and that's what is so important to me, is that he can do that all. But once again, it's the numbers game that could come into effect with Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura on the outside. And clearly, while he did win it fair and squarely in the handicap match, I think Sami Zayn will do whatever it takes to keep that Intercontinental Championship around his waist.
I agree with you there. Something else I want to touch on. I don't know what's going on with my girl Mandy Rose, and her and Dolph Ziggler. I know that when we were on Watch Along, you and Mandy kind of had a little controversy, a little fight that was going on there.
I was just stern, I guess.
You were just sticking up for Otis, okay? Fair enough.
Correct. I had the flat smiley face thing, just
the flat. Perfect. Got it. So if we're in emoji form, that's it right there.
That's it.
Perfect. So tonight we saw Dolph posed a question to Otis. What do you have to say?
He prodded Otis, right?
Okay. So you're saying he poked the bear. He poked the bear too many times.
He poked a giant bear. That's a terrible idea on Dolph's part. Did you notice what happened later on, though, and the conversation that was had?
With
Sonya Deville.
Yep, I did notice that.
We got this all together.
Well, if we're going back, he was FaceTiming someone earlier. So I don't know who he was FaceTiming. That was my first question when I was like, who is he talking to? His mom? His friends? Who is he FaceTiming to on SmackDown? Didn't he keep his voice low? Did you notice?
His voice was low. He was trying to hide it. You don't hide a FaceTime.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know who he was FaceTiming. Could it have been Sonya?
Here, I'll do another one.
What? Oh, perfect. This is the emojis game. So, right. But I feel like, I don't know. I'm really interested to see who he could have been FaceTiming. And then just conveniently, Sonya popped up. But I don't know. If we got to see this match at WrestleMania, Otis versus Dolph, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
She had said that she doesn't want them fighting over her. There is still a small part of Mandy. I will give her credit. And this happened. We were at Watch Along. I don't think she's closed the door on Otis because she likes him too much. And he's too likable of a person. But it's weird seeing him mad. You know what I mean? It's actually weird seeing him angry. He was so mad last week, and he was so mad again, and it's about her, which is kind of a lovely thing. It's romantic, right?
Right. Well, it makes me sad because he is such a jolly good, he's a good-hearted guy. He's a tremendous human being. Got a great soul, and he always just wants to have a good time and just cook and eat and have fun. And I mean, we saw that on the bump when he did our turkey roast with us. Yes. We were frying the turkey, and then now it's a different Otis that's just kind of came to life that we just don't really even know.
There's 2 things here that I want to note. Is number one is Otis, as we saw last week, can be dangerous. Otis is a heck of a wrestler, and I think there's so much fun in games, and it said the cooking and the jokes and everything. He can go, as can Tucker, and we've seen that. But because they're so fun and lovable and all that stuff, it gets overshadowed sometimes. There's one other part to this, and I'm going to flip and just look at this from an analyst standpoint. Dolph Ziggler has never had a one-on-one singles match at WrestleMania. Right. And I know that is eating him up. And I think there's a small part of him that while he's goading Otis into that, and it's about Mandy, and maybe he's got other motivations, maybe he's thinking less than positively, less than nice about this. I do think a small part of him wants to say, you know what, I should have had this match a long time ago. I'm going to prove to a lot of people at a time where maybe there's going to be so many more eyes on WrestleMania that I can beat this guy.
With a woman by his side.
With I don't know if it's his woman by his side, but I'm going to prove a lot of people who may have written me off you know what? I'm going to go win my first one-on-one singles match at WrestleMania. I'm going to keep Mandy Rose by my side. I'm going to put Otis to the side now, and maybe it launches him into a bit more. That is one thing I think we have to think about here with Dolph Ziggler. I'm not a fan of how he's gone about things. I'm not a fan about how Mandy's treated Otis. But when this comes to in the ring, Dolph Ziggler and Otis are both excellent. I come from amateur backgrounds, first of all, and I think if this gets down to a wrestling match, it's going to be very interesting. But there's all this other emotion involved. That's kind of what makes this fun as well. I'm clearly, I'm not going to be unbiased here. I think I'm rooting for Otis because I have to. Hopefully Mandy sees the better man in this matchup.
Right. I think obviously, you know, I'm friends with Mandy, so I'm just really interested to see how this is all going to play out. I know she's been playing almost two sides of things here, but I'm going to have to pull for Otis as well, I think, in this one.
I would hope our fans that are watching here and let us know. You got to be siding with Otis, right? Come on. Just please let us know that it's got to be about Otis here. I also want to know, I'd ask them out there, do you think Sonya Deville is involved in this at all? Because I think there's something going on there. Mackenzie, I go back months and months before even Otis and Mandy were on the bump with us together. It seemed like Sonya was just annoyed by the whole thing. Like her career was getting disrupted by whatever this budding romance was.
Overshadowed by this romance.
Yes.
Whatever we may call it.
And I can understand that a little bit. But let love live. Let love live.
Okay, well, while we're kind of on a serious topic, I mean, we're talking about Otis and Tucker and how they're normally fun-loving, but this, you know, Dolph Ziggler coming in, it's kind of changed it to a serious note. Let's talk about Elias and Baron Corbin tonight. I mean, obviously we send our well wishes to Elias. He's currently recovering from falling from a 10, 15-foot perch, top, balcony, whatever that is, and then hit the concrete. I mean, we've seen that turn to a whole nother level. The intensity's been turned all the way up.
That was, once again, it was so fun-loving last week with Gronk and Mojo, and Gronk saying, I'm suggesting, because I don't have the power to make this match. The match was made a week later. I don't know, Mackenzie, if this match is going to happen. We're a week away from WrestleMania now.
Right.
I'd have to say, Elias, if I'm going to put this into injury report terms.
You know, I know, yeah.
He is, Elias, questionable for WrestleMania. And I just say that based on what I saw tonight. But even if he makes it, what kind of shape is he going to be in? Going against, by the way, as much as he might drive people nuts, a very accomplished wrestler and performer and superstar in King Corbin.
Right. I mean, he won't, like you were saying, if he does even get to compete, he definitely shouldn't be or wouldn't be at 100%. That would he'd have to make a full comeback falling from 10 feet, 15 feet. And that's
not going to happen. No,
exactly.
It's not going to happen. And maybe that was Baron Corbin getting a leg up. Maybe that was Baron Corbin saying, you know what, I need to do something to weaken this guy because I don't think I could beat him at 100%.
Right. Well, kind of going back to the women's division, we've seen what's happening between Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Asuka, the Kabuki Warriors as a whole. Tonight, Alexa got the win. What does this mean for the future?
Well, I would think while it was only in singles competition, it should at least move them up in the world in the talk of the Women's Tag Team Championships. It's something Alexa's been very vocal about. She talked about it a bit when she was on the bump with us a little over a week ago. They are former WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and when you beat somebody like Asuka, that's very impressive. So I hope that match can happen in the future. I love watching all four of them. Mm-hmm. For very, very different styles and reasons. Nikki's awesome on her own, but Alexa's one of those people that attracts you for a variety of ways. Very good in the ring, excellent when she's got that microphone in her hand. But I feel like following her, talking to her on Twitter, all that stuff, you can tell she's a little angry. And sometimes she feels a little bit overlooked. And sometimes a motivated person, especially on the road to WrestleMania, they turn it up a little bit. So I would think that at least they're now towards the top of that conversation for the number one contenders of the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships.
Have to be. I will say, though, Nikki Cross was my favorite. Her as a whole was my favorite moment of SmackDown tonight. Like, did you see her dance? First of all, she was dancing like Asuka on the announce table. She never actually sat in the chair Like, she was dancing around. She was on the announce table. She was hugging Michael Cole.
Yes.
She was the most entertaining. Like, Nikki Cross is very entertaining. I don't think I've ever seen her as entertaining as I did tonight. She was
perched.
fantastic.
Would you say she was perched on the chair or the table? Like, she never was actually
never
like
on the chair.
Like,
She
I'm
was
sitting
kneeling.
in a chair right now. She never looked like this.
She
By the way,
never sat down.
if you're not following her on social media, and her husband, Killian Dane, she kind of sneak attacks him with dance videos, and while he's trying to just work out and be good. That's her. That's her 24/7. And then he tried to like sneak attack her while she was working out, and he went in and looked, and she was literally just dancing like that. That was her warm up. So there was no sneak attacking Nikki Cross. She's ahead of everybody. She's got you beat up here all the time. An absolute joy to watch, but also very dangerous in the ring. I would not want to cross, lack of better term here, Nikki Cross. So hopefully that match does happen.
Of course. And if we are talking about people on the announce table today, did you notice Miz and John Morrison ended up standing on the announce table? I don't know what was getting into everybody, but everybody thought they needed to stand on the announce table today. Doesn't happen often. We're
somewhat part of the broadcast team, I think, right? I mean, I know we're hosts and all that. Can we leave Michael Cole alone, please? The man is a legend in this company.
Like,
for
how do you
20 plus years? 20 plus years. This started with Triple H, which I guess thought everybody's like, well, if Triple H does it, then everybody can mess with him. Mojo's done it multiple weeks. We had Goldberg and Roman throwing chairs around Michael Cole. Now we got Nikki kind of messing with him with the hug. But let's a little respect for Michael Cole. He was out there doing the show for the most part by himself. I know he had superstars coming in, but yes, let's have a little respect for Michael Cole, please.
Of course. Hey, when you're speaking of Triple H, did you hear what he had to say backstage tonight talking about Roman Reigns and Goldberg?
Yeah, I love that we got to see Triple H talk about being in the ring with both of those guys. And, you know, he talked about how Roman, if he gets further into the match, will have a better chance of winning. And I agree with that. I also want to note that Triple H has been in the ring more recently with Roman Reigns, where the stuff with Goldberg is going back to 2004.
Right.
So that's a long time ago, 2003, I should say, 2003 into 2004. So that's a long time. That's a different Goldberg ago.
Over 15 years.
Right.
Wow.
Now, Goldberg, obviously, doing quite well. Since Triple H has last wrestled him, he's been a Universal Champion 2 times and the current Universal Champion. But I do agree with his assessment. And Goldberg said this to us. When we talked to him, another guy, this is why you have to watch the bump, because we have all these people on there, and they give us the insights. When Goldberg was on, he said, look, you know, that's my thing. I got to win this thing quickly. That's what I do. I don't get paid by the hour. Roman Reigns, I don't think anybody, I'm saying that, talking out of line here, the longer that match goes, the more it favors him. So Triple H saying that, if I think that, and then Triple H confirms that, that tells me that there's something legit to it. So interesting to hear from Triple H talking about both those competitors. He's been in there with everybody. I'm reading into this a little bit. I felt like he was kind of favoring Roman Reigns.
Absolutely. He said he was putting his money on Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
He said, I think that was a big move. I mean, that was a bold statement to say, obviously, like you were saying, he's been in the ring with Goldberg, with Roman Reigns, with pretty much, you know, a big chunk of the roster. And for him to say that he's putting his money on Roman Reigns, that's a very bold statement.
I agree. And he didn't have to say that, by the way. Not in his position, not at all. But he said it. I don't think Goldberg cares, by the way. I think that only motivates him that much more. I would favor Roman Reigns as well. I know Ryan Papole's in there. He's always going to pick Goldberg. I get it.
Always.
But if I would say this, if the match can stay under 5 minutes, Goldberg will win. If you can get past that point, we get into 7, 8, 9, 10, even 15 minutes, I'm picking Roman Reigns all day. He's done it before. He has more experience in those kind of matches. I think it favors him more. And he's done it at WrestleMania before in those kind of matches, as we saw tonight, looking back at WrestleMania 32.
That's right. Okay, let's switch gears for a second. Bray Wyatt talking about the Firefly Funhouse match. Posing that question to John Cena. We're supposed to hear from John Cena next week to see how he responds to that. What does that even mean, a Firefly Funhouse match? Does that mean it's only in the Firefly Funhouse?
I don't even know where the Firefly Funhouse is. I know it was burned down by Seth Rollins. Then it came back. I don't know where it came back to. I don't ever want to go there. But this has been – it's weird to even say this. Doesn't it feel like this has been a different Bray Wyatt than even the last few months since he's been focused on John Cena?
It has. It definitely has. I, Bray Wyatt is such a wild character. Like, I mean, you go from the Fiend, you see Bray Wyatt. Like, Bray has been very focused, but like
Right.
he also like him putting together this concoction that he made tonight. Like, he's got it. He thinks he has all the pieces put together to beat John Cena. So I don't know, Matt.
I think that was just fun and games, Bray Wyatt, of just, oh, let's we'll throw all this stuff in here and ha ha ha. That's got nothing. I think this is all about the Fiend and when he gets in there. And as he said, John Cena created this. And I have been talking about this for months, that this is revenge, revenge, revenge. And everybody that he's faced, there's been a reason for it. There's been a reason to go back after them, whether it be Finn Balor or Seth Rollins or Daniel Bryan. But John Cena is the origin of this, going back 6 years to WrestleMania in New Orleans, when John Cena beat him in Bray Wyatt's, at the time, biggest match of his career. And while Bray Wyatt has had success since then, I think that was the chance. That was the chance to put him in a different stratosphere. And John Cena acknowledged that. He goes, I'm stopping that. I don't think you're that guy. And now we have a whole different entity in the Fiend. So I'm going to favor Bray Wyatt in this. I mean, remember, about a month ago, John Cena was like,
He was out.
Exactly. I'm sitting out at WrestleMania. And now he's wrestling, I guess, if you want to call it that, at WrestleMania. I know he's going to say yes to this match because he's John Cena. But if you step into Bray Wyatt's world, you're going to lose. And I don't say that lightly with John Cena.
No, I definitely agree with you. I think Bray Wyatt has just gotten scarier and scarier and scarier. And like I said, more focused. And I think putting Bray Wyatt in his comfortability of his own Firefly Funhouse home, whatever that may be, whatever that looks like, I think he definitely has an advantage over Cena there.
And I wonder if he were to defeat John Cena, where would that leave John Cena? And then maybe more importantly for the rest of the WWE and SmackDown, where would it leave the Fiend? Because does that recharge him? Does that give him all the confidence in the world that maybe he lost? That's a scary sight, a scary thought even.
No, of course, of course. Well, a lot of questions going into next week's SmackDown. We've got one more SmackDown, and then we head into the first ever two-night WrestleMania. I am very excited. I know for us, this is our first time being with WWE, our first WrestleMania. So I'm definitely excited to watch it all go down. It'll be historic for sure.
Yes, and we have more coming up on the bump this Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Stay tuned for that. Our last one before WrestleMania. We have some fun stuff planned for you there. Check out this past week. We had Sami Zayn on, Seth Rollins on, Daniel Bryan on, Drew Gulak on. You interviewed Tyler Breeze, and then you're his good luck charm. Then he beat Austin Theory on NXT.
I guess so. I did. I interviewed him at NXT a couple weeks ago, and that was fun. I mean, first of all, he took a selfie of Austin Theory backstage. Like, I don't know. That's obviously his thing, but he just randomly took out his camera and just started taking a photo. So you're like, took everybody off guard for sure. And then, we sat down and had a full interview. He talked about pretty much everything, his career. And it's always fun getting to talk to Tyler Breeze. He's something else. But we do have to change his mindset from up, up, down, down to the bump. Did you hear what he had to say about that? He was like, you can't get in between me and my friends at up, up, down, down.
But he's not friends with them. He's left, right. They're like, I feel like we kind of lean more that. I don't know. I was disappointed by that. And I supported him when he won the up, up, down, down title. I think it's Survivor Series. Breeze, we're good. I literally had your action figure in my pocket when Kofi and Woods were on the show. So we'll be okay there. I'm on Breeze's side. He does not mean what he said.
I don't know.
I think he was messing with you.
But we'll have to change his mindset. That's my goal. Next week in NXT, we'll talk about it and we'll have to see what he has to say. If he could maybe come on the bump again. If we get him into Stamford, it'll change his mind.
No problem. We'll give him the full entrance. He'll get whatever he wants. We'll go old school Tyler Breeze. We'll give him the models. He can reside from anywhere he wants in the world like he used to do, whether it be like Egypt or wherever it may be. We will take care of Tyler Breeze. That would be tremendous. We'll bring all the old school back. He can do the supermodel kick. We'll give him the selfie stick. Whatever he wants, we will roll out the literal red carpet for Tyler Breeze. We've done it for John Morrison. We can do it for him.
Of course. We treat our guests nice whenever they come to Connecticut. I must say we do. They get breakfast. They get they can do whatever they want in the office. Free reign.
Just so if this is here reason to watch the bump. We had King Ricochet and we had Mr. Ricochet himself come in. We gave him a bouncy castle. Drew McIntyre has been in twice. He has had a Pied Piper. The second time was 3 days after the Royal Rumble. We gave him a full-on confetti celebration. Let's see. We gave Natty and TJ a full-on Valentine's morning breakfast before they came in. We put on Canadian Stampede from 1996. You name it, we take care of our guests when they're in. When Lacey Evans came in with her daughter Summer, she had her own chair, which was then shipped to their house.
That's right.
Breeze, if you're watching, you're going to be taken care of if you come on the bump.
I'll give him the Iggy. I'll message him and tell him that we should. Why are you laughing?
Nothing. Your terminology is just tremendous. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'll let him know.
Okay.
Sure.
Good. There you go.
Okay. Well, I'll let you go on to bed.
Listen, you got to tell the people.
You're drinking your coffee.
I'm
old
good
man's
now.
got to stay awake.
Listen, I'm not that old. You're really not helping my life here with the people, the perception of the people. Can I remind you of something that you're supposed to do here as the older veteran of this show? You're supposed to tell people that this Sunday on ESPN.
Oh, I was going to wait until you got off, but I'll go ahead and let them know. This Sunday on ESPN, you can watch WrestleMania 32. How's that?
What time?
I don't know, Matt. What's the time?
7 p.m. Eastern.
Since you wanted to steal my line.
I got it. I got you covered. Now, in all seriousness, I think one of your favorite WrestleMania moments and matches is on that show, correct?
That's right. That was when Charlotte Flair defeated Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch to become the first ever WWE Women's Champion.
Spoiler alert, folks, 4 years later, but that's there. Also, what? Shane McMahon. It happened 4 years ago, but some people are going to watch it this Sunday. Shane McMahon, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, and of course, you saw some of Roman Reigns and Triple H for the WWE Championship. Tonight, you'll see that full match. It's a real good show, and something else that ended up on my list. The first match of that show features the WrestleMania debuts of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. That match means you can see it when he walks through as the champion, but that match means so much to Kevin Owens. I spoke to him recently, not on any of our shows, just talking to him about it, because WrestleMania means so much. We've seen him and Seth Rollins talk about, this WrestleMania and their match and all that, and why it means more coming to the Performance Center. But that match is really, really special. So go out of your way to check that out this Sunday on ESPN.
Yeah, I'll be watching. I know you will be too, Matt.
Of course.
Okay, well, nice chatting with you. Fun talking about SmackDown, as always.
Absolutely. And to all our fans out there. So
yes,
thank you.
Thanks for joining us,
we have more of
guys.
these coming next week as well. So stay tuned for all that.
That's right. All right, well, I will talk to you later. Stay safe.
Bye, everybody. See ya.
Wash your hands.
I'm going to go do that right now.
Bye.
There's the bump sign. Just look at the bump sign. We're good.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.